fire damage and the burn effect from his leadership, which is insane. Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. And for today, we are gonna be doing some of the one-shot gameplay with Namor. And we'll also be trying to use Namor with different lead to do the one-shot. Yeah, it is absolutely possible for Namor to do the one-shot in World Boss Ultimate if you put in Captain America in your team. Because basically Captain America is going to do his 4th skill when you use your Corvus skill, and if you set Weapon Hex as a striker, she is going to fill up the 100% all defense now. And of course you have to bring in Doctor Strange as a striker for the time freeze ability in order for Namor to do the one shot. So here is the thing, if you want to do the one shot with Namor, you have to bring in Captain America in the team no matter what. So both in-game uniform or the Hydra Supreme uniform does offer the same thing. So both uniform is basically going to do the same thing for you. So it really doesn't matter which uniform you're going to use for Captain, because both uniform do offer the same thing. However, when it comes to the leadership, it is not necessary to put Ghost Panther as a leader, but this team up is definitely the best team up for Namor. But I mean, if you don't have Ghost Panther, you can actually use someone like Wave for the 60% of all attacks, or you can use someone like Red Hawk or Satana for the 60% or the 70% of fire damage. But to be honest, not every world bosses these 3 leadership is going to work very well. They can definitely do it, but whatever I did with Ghost Panther team is definitely much better than the Wave team, Satana or Red Hawk team. It is like 5 more stages higher, because Ghost Panther does offer the extra damage dealt to supervillain from his tier 2 passive. So technically this team up is going to do more damage than the other team up, this is for sure. But what I mean here is, if you don't have Ghost Panther, these are the second best option you can choose when it comes to doing the one-shot method with Namor. Alright, so before we go into that, let's quickly check out our build here. Well, we do have max critical rate, max ignore defense, and max cooldown. All the gears are 25 with at least 2 6-star physical attack Uru on each of the gear. And we do have like 1, 2, 3, 3 Odin's Blessing here. Only 3 Odin's Blessing here. So nothing surprise. All the skill set here are maxed out. And we do have a set of Power Angry Hawk ISO set here. 6 Trap in effect. And of course, we are rocking with a CTP of Rage here. So for Namor, you got to invest a CTP of Rage for him, because he really needs to tie in all the skill in order for him to do the one shot in World Boss Ultimate. So yeah, the 5 seconds Rage proc is really important for Namor. And last but not least, we do have this uniform at mythical level. So Namor one shot method, let's check it out. Alright, so here we go. The rotation is going to be the same of all the time. You have to start with the Cope skill, 4 cancel, 5 cancel, 3 and 2, and you are done. This is how you're going to do the one-shot method with Namor. So with Ghost Panther as a leader, we are able to do stage 65 Proxima, which is not too bad. So right now, even without that extra damage dealt to supervillains, Namor is still able to do at least stage 60, one-shot stage 60 Proxima with just 60% fire damage and the burn effect from his leadership, which is insane. So if you don't have Ghost Panther, you can either use Red Hawk, Satana or Wave as a leader. Namor team up with either one of them is able to do the one-shot stage 60 Proxima, which is fantastic. And then we are able to do 5 more stages higher with Ghost Panther as a leader, which is even better because of the extra damage dealt to supervillains and the extra critical rate from his leadership. But if you already max out your critical rate, then the critical rate that given from his leadership is basically useless. And please keep in mind that I do not have any of the CTP of Insight on my Ghost Panther, Wave, Red Hawk or Satana, so this is definitely not the maximum stage we could achieve. So I assume that I can definitely push 5 more stages higher if I have a CTP of Insight on my characters here. So if you do have more Odin's Blessing than me, if you have a CTP of Insight, you can definitely do much better than me, to be honest. So for the strikers, remember, as always, you have to bring in weapon hacks to fill up that 100% all defense now, and you have to bring in Doctor Strange for the time freeze ability no matter what. And of course with at least 3 damage dealt strikers, I mean the 12% damage dealt strikers like Cosmic Ghost Rider, Thanos and Silver Surfer. However, for Corvus World Boss Ultimate, it is better to bring 3 ignore dodge strikers instead of 3 damage dealt strikers. So that's how I set up my strikers. And please keep in mind that, as I said, not all the leadership is going to work very well in all the world bosses, World Boss Ultimate. But with Ghost Panther as the leader, we can one-shot 5 Infinity World Bosses, and that's for sure. However, if you use Zatanna as a leader, if I'm not mistaken, Namor can one-shot all the world bosses except for Thanos if we use Zatanna as a leader. If Red Hawk as a leader, Namor is only able to one-shot 3 world bosses, which is Proxima, Ebony and Corvus. And last but not least, Wave leadership only allows Namor to only one-shot Proxima, which is hilarious. I think because of all of his skills are based on fire damage, so he needs more fire damage rather than all attacks. But anyways, with Wave leadership, he's still able to one-shot Proxima, which is fine, I think. So right now we are doing stage 65 Corvus. So here is the thing, when we are fighting against Corvus, we can't really one-shot him, but we can definitely KO him with just 2 shots, which is not too bad. But it definitely takes more time than the other world bosses, because in the second phase, you are gonna stop attacking for at least 20 to 30 seconds just to wait for the Corvus to off cooldown, and you have to wait until Corvus to finish his iframe, which is kind of like the invincibility, but it's okay. When the timing arrives, you just go with the usual rotation, KO 4 cancel, 5 cancel, 3 and 2, and you are done. Simple as that. Alright guys, so that's all for the rotation and the one-shot strategy with Namor. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. So enjoy the gameplay and take care.